Hello and welcome to the second race of this final round of the 2023 Spanish Formula 4 Championship, coming to you live from the Circuit de Catalunya of Barcelona. It's just outside the city of Barcelona, coming from the little town of Montmell. And the championship decided yesterday as we see the safety car doing one last reconnaissance lap. Championship decided in favour of TfL Nail, and that really was always the most likely case coming into this weekend. Such was the size of his advantage. As you see, Valerio Renocella currently third in the championship, lining up third on the grid. He jumped Enzo Deligny in the standings yesterday, but one driver who's certainly having an excellent weekend so far is the pole sitter, Christian Ho, and you could probably not see him. Oh, you can kind of just see him there. Ah, there we go. That's not Christian Ho, that's actually Noah Stromstead, starting fourth on the grid. You could just about see Christian Ho in the melee there of the people on the right-hand side of the grid. He was pole position yesterday. He won the race yesterday, and he got the fastest lap yesterday. He led every lap as well. And a wonderful performance by him, but just not enough to hold off TfL Nail, who started sixth and made some very, very good overtakes to come home and take a podium position. He came home third. You see Matteo Lepeo, who's second in the rookie standings at the moment. Again, a solid race yesterday, albeit somewhat on the quiet side. But it's going to be a very difficult race for Nail today. He's probably going to be out of the picture for the most part. He's going to be starting down in 30th position after his second fastest lap in qualifying one yesterday. Well, the one that was accepted was left him well down the order. Several drivers losing positions, or well, effectively losing positions on the grid because times are deleted due to track limits. We do have a little bit of time before the start of this race, only a couple of minutes, of course, but there have been one or two little changes this weekend. Actually, you know what, before that, I'm going to give you a little bit of news for the 2024 season. And why not, as we look upon the grounds here at the Circuit de Catalunya, as the starting grid coming on screen there, you can see Christian Ho on pole position, ahead of Enzo Deligny. Deligny will be hoping for a better race today. He started second, ended up fourth after being overtaken by Renocella and Nail. And another good qualifying too for Riccardo Grazia for Mondial Motorsport, a driver who I mentioned who started to come together very nicely in the second half of the season. Got Kara Squada and Ninovic, Noah Lyle, Pablo Sarrazin, Pedro Clero and Yamakoshi. There's a bunch of drivers there fighting for the bottom end of the top 10 in the point standings, where every little point counts. Fabio Valeri starting 15th. He didn't finish yesterday. He had a bit of an off. And Daniel Mazzi returning for GRS this weekend. And debutant drives for Akshay Bora starting 23rd. Louis Carr Perez 27th. And you can see there TfL Nail standing down in 30th position. As the engines rise on the grid, you can probably just hear it in the background. Several penalties applied following yesterday's race. As the field pulls away from the grid. We do have a calendar for 2024, starting in Navarra on May the 10th to the 12th, then going to Portimao for June the 7th to the 9th. Round 3 will be at Paul Ricard for July 5th and 7th, and then at the end of that month, end of July, we'll be at Motorland Aragon. Then a 1 month break before we go to Ricardo Torma for around August 30th to September 1st. Then Jerez over September 29th, 27th to 29th. And then the finale next season, November 8th to the 10th, here again at the Circuit de Catalunya in Barcelona. As we saw on the lineup a few moments ago, Max Restrepo starts 34th. He took a 3-place grid penalty following an unsafe rejoin yesterday. He lines up just behind Kiona Alazzari and Juan Cota, while Theodor Jensen will get away from 31st. TfL Nail, the champion, starts 30th for Santaloc Racing, 1 minute 45.667 for him. He has got Federico Alrifai, who also received a 3-place grid penalty for an unsafe rejoin. Lorenzo Castillo gets away from 27th, just Luis Carlos Perez alongside. There is Nail on screen now. Filippo Fiorentino starts 26th with Griffin Peebles 25th and Isaac Barashi 24th. Akshay Bora, the debutant this weekend for MP Motorsport, starts 23rd. We'll be hoping to see more of him next year. He is alongside Gabriel Gomez, who will get ahead from 22nd on the grid, and Andres Cardenas, who will be getting away from 21st. Luciano Morano for Santalok Racing. It's the highest placed Santalok Racing driver in qualifying, a little bit of a rarity this year for the women of 43.020. He's got Matzia just ahead of him in 19th, while Eric Genet starts 18th, and Fernando Barrichello will get away from 17th. Fernando Barrichello had a good race yesterday, made 12 places from his starting spot. He'll be hoping for more of the same today. Then Hedinez gets away 16th on the grid, just behind Flavio Oliveri, while Alexander Absakava starts 14th, and Alvis Rerdera for MP Motorsport will get away from 13th position. Hiyu Yamakoshi rounds out the season for Tecnica Formula Campiano, starting 12th, with Pedro Claro 11th. Then into the top 10, Pablo Sarrazin, good qualifying for Sarrazin. The 1 minute 42.228, just behind Noah Lyle for Rodin Carlin, while Alex Ninovic gets away from 8th on the grid. Jessica Carrasquada will start 7th for Campos Racing, while Ricardo Grazia starts 6th for Moonlight Motorsport at 1 minute 42.047 for Grazia. Matteo De Peo will get away 5th. He was 3rd in FP1. He'll be hoping for more of the same today for Campos Racing. Then 4th on the grid, Noah Stromstead for Campos Racing, a 1 minute 41.877. He is just behind third place man Valerio Rinicella, who was 2nd yesterday. And then on the front row of the grid, on the left-hand side of your screen, in the Red Bull colours, a slightly muted Red Bull colours, Enzo Deligny started 2nd yesterday, finished 4th for Campos Racing, a 1 minute 41.466. And the pole man, once again, with 1 minute 41.288, Christian Ho in the white and black machine on the right-hand side of your screen. We are now ready to go. A cool-ish morning here in Montmello, 17 degrees Celsius. High humidity. But it's the coolest temperatures these drivers have had to face so far this season. And it'll be interesting to see how this affects their tyres. We get the green flag from the marshal at the back of the grid. The engines will rise as lights come on. 25 minutes plus 1 lap for this race, and Christian Ho gets a good start. Leads away from Deligny. Grazia on the outside trying to make moves on Stromstead. Doesn't quite move through there. Rinicella looking to try and take Deligny into turn 1. He's on the outside line, locks his wheel, doesn't quite work. He may be under pressure from Stromstead here, while De Peo is just behind in 5th. Caro going off the circuit, as does Carrasquada. That might cause them to lose a couple of positions. Oh, leads once again. Deligny in 2nd place. Rinicella in 3rd. Rinicella again locking up as they come through the long turn 3 right-hander. And we have 2 drivers off the circuit. That is Ricardo Grazia. Trying to tell exactly. That is another driver. That is Lynn Hedinez in the Moonlight Motorsport machine. 2 drivers out for Moonlight Motorsport. Now, Hedinez was a little bit behind Grazia, so I'm just wondering if there was a contretemps between Grazia and another driver. And that, I think that might be one of the Roland Carlin cars. And I wonder if Hedinez then kind of chanced upon their spinning cars and had a bit of a bump, to say the least. Safety car has been called. 3 stranded cars. Quite naturally, that's going to be a safety car, as it will take quite a few minutes to just clear the circuit. The drivers now come on to the start-finish straight. They see the yellow boards flashing with safety car in the middle. They will begin to slow down, weave, as they reach the safety car that is just exited the pit lane a few moments ago. Hopefully we'll see a replay of what happened. So that's Hedinez there on the left-hand side. And the other driver was Alex Ninovic. And that kind of makes sense. Grazia and Ninovic they started 6th and 8th. supposition, of course, but it would make a little bit of sense that if Grazia and Ninovic had possibly had it coming together, and Hidinez, from who was starting down in 16th, has possibly chanced upon their accident and had a bit of a bang. Hopefully we will get a replay of that. And we get a replay of the start at least. Christian Ho getting away well. Deligny wasn't quite as well away. He was concentrating more on defending from behind. And there we have Ninovic hitting Grazia, and then Hidinez does go into the side of Ninovic. And that's pretty much caused that. And we have a stalled car on the grid as well. That, I believe, was Eric Genet. And he has pitted and rejoined. Still on the same lap as the lead, I believe, but quite a long way behind. Get that confirmed in a moment. It's not been the easiest of seasons for Eric Genet. As you see the mechanics on the pit wall. I did mention we had one or two little changes this weekend, and some drivers' names who you probably didn't recognize from the rest of the season. Well, that's okay, because at GRS Racing, Luis Carlos Perez, a driver from Mexico, is in the number 72 car. He's replacing Gabriel Stilp, who made his debut last time around. At MP Motorsport, there is an additional car, a number 61 entry for Akshay Bora, British driver, making his debut in Spanish Formula 4, also at MP Motorsport. There was supposed to be an additional runner for MP Motorsport. Dominique de Decker was supposed to be in for Renault Franco, but has opted not to start this weekend, but did run in some test sessions, and hopefully we'll see them next season. At Cram Motorsport, Gabriel Gomez is in the number 36 car, replacing Kai Darianani for his debutant weekend in Spanish Formula 4. And also congratulations to Matteo Colnaghi, who won the Richard Mille Young Talent Academy for 2023. He will be stepping in to a seat with MP Motorsport next season, replacing the Keanu Alazzari, who was the winner for 2022 and drove for MP Motorsport this year. Alazzari, by the way, is currently running 9th in the standings. He's got a quite significant gap ahead of Alex Ninovic, who's 10th in points, but is also quite a way behind Andre Cardenas, who's running 8th in the standings at the moment. And we have had 3 laps completed, much of which under the safety car. And we will be hoping to get away again very shortly. You can hear the beeping of the JCBs in the background. Always a bit of a trying scenario when you do have several cars go off in one corner. With a limited number of marshals at events like these and a limited number of rescue vehicles. So it does just take that little bit longer to clear sections. What I can tell you for the moment, as you can see on the left-hand side of your screen, Christian Ho leading this race, as we see the technical formula, the Campagnons mechanics sitting on the pit wall. Enzo Deligny, 2nd place, and also the leading rookie in this race, and on his way to claim the rookie championship at this rate. Valerio Rinicella is 3rd at the moment, ahead of Noah Stromstead. Stromstead tried a move on Rinicella on the opening lap. Didn't quite work, but he's still 4th. Matteo De Peo is in 5th position. De Peo having started 5th. Pedro Claro up to 6th. Good start for him. He actually got a little bit away 11th from the grid. Very good start for him. He has jumped, amongst others, Jesse Carrasquado, who started 7th and is currently 7th. Noah Lyle is 8th. Hiyu Yamakoshi is running 9th. That is the last points paying position in this race. Of course, the shortened race, 25 minutes plus 1 lap. Yamakoshi started 12th, and just behind him is Pablo Sarrazin, while Alexander Abzakava starts 11th, and Cardenas is 12th. Flavio Oliveri didn't finish yesterday, had a crash. He is 13th, while Alvis Rodea is 14th ahead of Daniel Matzia. Matzia returning for 7 rounds for GRS this season, but he's actually mainly been doing quite a bit of karting. He was a regular competitor, what the hell is that? He was a regular competitor in Spanish Formula 4 a couple of seasons ago. Now, I can tell you that the safety car is coming in this lap. You can see that on your screens now. The safety car will run off into the distance while Christian Ho becomes the driver who controls the tempo of the field as it stands. We did this yesterday with a safety car period, and Christian Ho at this point was very, very, very slow, held the field back into quite a very thick bunch, allowed him a very solid getaway. In around this point, Enzo Deligny, you'd think, would be wise to it by now, as would Rinicella. And Rinicella almost hitting the back of Deligny there. Stromstead in 4th position, Matteo De Peo is 5th. Deligny positioning himself to get a little bit of a launch when Ho does. And Ho is really holding this together. It's almost as if it's a 2x2 IndyCar restart. And Ho now puts its foot to the throttle through the final corner. And he has a little bit of a gap over Deligny. Rinicella is right on Deligny's tail. Stromstead is there too in 4th place. And Ho may have built enough of a gap to ensure Deligny stays at bay. Stromstead defending, Stromstead challenging Rinicella coming into turn 1. Rinicella defending hard, but fairly. Lucy Clara around the outside of the pair. He's not going to make that stick. He's going to clean off the circuit, having to take the escape road, and might lose a position to Noah Lyle. But he's actually held on. He's going down the inside of the pair. I don't think the stewards are going to look too kindly upon that. He went clean off the circuit and maintained full throttle position throughout, and has gained the position pretty much almost as a result. The pair looking down the inside, trying to retake the position, but Claro defends. You got Noah Lyle and Carrasquado just behind, trying to take advantage of any contre-top that happens just ahead. Yamakoshi up to 8th position, as Carrasquado was pretty much blocked by the actions of the drivers just ahead. Another driver going clean off the circuit. That may have been Alvis Rodea, down in, well, what is now 15th place. He was 14th. Abzakava has also taken Carrasquado. The DriveX man now up to 10th position. Has gained several positions from the start. The best starter so far has been Theo Jensen in the Centelock Racing Machine. He started 31st, he's now up to 18th. And Thief El Neil, meanwhile, the champion, is 23rd, having started 30th. Bit by bit, picking off drivers. Don't think it's going to get anywhere near the points today, but it'll be entertaining if nothing else. He is currently challenging Kiana Alazzari in 22nd place, and also just behind Juan Quota. Christian Ho continues to lead. He saw the fastest lap of this race so far, 1:43.376. That was 0.6 of a second faster than Deligny last time round. And pretty much Ho was well ahead of everyone else on that lap, building a very, very sizable gap. We've not had any drivers so far this season who've done a complete total of poles, fastest laps and wins throughout the weekend. Christian Ho is aiming clearly for that. And he's built a nice gap over Delaney, just over 1 second. Rinicella is there in third, but it's not quite close enough yet to put any pressure. Replay of the getaway by Ho, and that is Rodeo going clean off the circuit. Now, I mentioned just a few moments ago that no drivers have yet to do the complete total of results. I can confirm that provisionally, Christian Ho is on pole position for race 3 as well. I say provisionally because nothing is confirmed for race 3 until after this race is over, just in case there are any penalties that are hangovers. But Christian Ho, for the moment, is on pole position for that race, also ahead of Enzo Deligny. Grid will be confirmed much closer to that race, of course. But as it stands, Christian Ho very much on course for completing the Spanish Formula 4's version of a Grand Slam as such. Meanwhile, Pedro Claro still fighting off Mateo De Peo, and I can only imagine De Peo will be absolutely fuming to have been overtaken by Claro in the manner in which he was. There's a note from Race Control has gone out to all drivers that track limits must be respected. We did see some penalties handed out late on after yesterday's race. And someone's out braking themselves quite significantly in the background. I can tell you Lorenzo Castillo, who's must have had an off somewhere along the line. He's lost several positions. He was running 25th, has now dropped to 30th. Let's see the Monleo Motorsport mechanics on the pit wall. Claro defending hard from De Peo. Difficult really sometimes to actually maintain closeness through these last 2 corners. The chicane that went in several years ago has unfortunately had the effect of stretching some of the drivers out, some of the cars out as they come through those last couple of corners. But De Peo is going to have a go anyway. He's right under the rear wing of Pedro Claro as they come down into turn 1, but it's not close enough. It really is difficult to get a draft on a car in front. Coming out of that final corner, Noah Stromstead has bettered Christian Ho's fastest lap. Stromstead with a 1 minute 42.8. He's 10th quicker than Christian Ho has done so far, as Claro has made an error defending from De Peo, goes a little bit wide into 4. De Peo pressing hard, trying to run the outside of Seat's corner. Claro goes a little bit wide again, but he has covered his tracks and maintains the position. And De Peo really pressing and pushing Pedro Claro hard. And we're now starting to get warning flags for drivers for track limits. And that basically is your last warning. Anything else, and it will be time penalties. As you see, Claro defending again into the left-handed. De Peo dive down the inside, and this time he does take the position, but does he go a little bit wide? He does. Claro gets the inside, takes the position back once again. With De Peo with the advantage, trying to go down the inside of the tight right-hander. That's not going to work, but would Pedro Claro go a little bit wide? He doesn't. He maintains his position. Fantastic action from both of these drivers. De Peo is still there, still challenging. You got Noah Lyle holding off Yamakoshi, Carrasquaro, Zarazan just behind. But is De Peo going to get a little bit more of a run this time around? The gap between them is just over a quarter of a second as they come down and start finish straight. De Peo is right there, but is he going to duck out and dive? Not quite. He's going to try and line himself up for another move in turn 3 and 4 again, I can only assume. As we go to replay of the attempted move into the hairpin, the long hairpin is not a tight corner, as we've seen on other circuits. And no change. As we see Claro coming into Seat with De Peo just there, still pressing, still pushing hard. Still applying as much pressure as he possibly can with his Campos racing machine. Noah Lyles, 7th place, keeping a watching brief while also defending from Yamakoshi. And Lyle, solid season. But I think in his second season in Formula 4, he probably would have wanted a little bit more than solid. Dual championships again this season. He's also competing in the British Formula 4 Championship. He's meant he missed a single round in the middle of the season in Spanish Formula 4. But he is battling hard. He's got Yamakoshi right on his tail. But right now we are watching this battle for 5th and 6th positions. This is Claro in the orange MP Motorsport car. Still battling to keep the Peo behind. The Peo had started 5th, lost the position just after the safety car restart when Claro went off the circuit and maintained his speed through the runoff area and completed the overtake once he can return to the track. We are starting to get time penalties coming through. Yellow flag at turn 1. Not entirely sure why. There we have it. That is Noah Lyle. That is Noah Lyle, and he is out of the race and parked up. So I wonder now, have we had a contretemps between him and Yamakoshi? So that is on the exit of turn 1, which is traditionally where you have drivers maybe pulling the switchback. And I do wonder if that's a little bit smidgen of damage. Oh, nope. Oh, yay. Okay, something's happened quite a bit before that, because the left rear, as I was about to say, does look somewhat deranged. But he's gone clean off the circuit in turn 1, gone right across the gravel, and almost taken someone off at the other side. So yellow in turn 1. It does look as if the marshals are working to clear that quite quickly. 2-second time penalty for Luis Carlos Perez, and that is a stopped car. That is the number 69 of Max Restrepo. He gets going again and into the gravel. Please don't tell me you beached it. Oh my word! He spun himself around to try and get going, and that has the Monlight Motorsport. He spun all by himself. In the middle of a pack, he's turned in a little bit too much, spun all by himself. He's trying to turn himself around and then put himself in the gravel and out of the race. That is not one for the show reel. And we will see a safety car for that. There's no way that they'll continue to run with Restrepo beached very much, facing the oncoming traffic. Double wave yellow cards, and there is the safety car. Now, we did have a scenario yesterday where Filippo Fiorentino went off in turn 1 with about 2.5 minutes remaining, about 3 minutes remaining. And it was deemed, really, that had they brought the safety car, the race would have just poodled to a slow and sluggish end. So it was with such a short amount of time remaining, it was deemed to just bring out the red flag and just call the race. And under those circumstances, Nail was declared the champion, really. But I would be surprised, because of where Restrepo is situated, right on the edge of the gravel trap, I would be surprised if this could be cleared in such a short amount of time. And so Christian Ho, who by the way did get the fastest lap set again. He did pip Noah Lyle. He's got a 1 minute 42.789, so he is back on track to claim top spot in all of the competitive sessions this weekend. The only thing so far he's not really done is he wasn't, and some applause from the crowd in the background. He didn't top, Christian Ho didn't top FP2. But he is pole, fastest lap and race winner, and led every lap in race 1 yesterday. Pole, oh, he's got going again, way! I think they'll probably just, Red Bull's just going to have to go back into the pits because that'll be an assisted restart. That does mean that maybe we might just actually get this race 3 going again. Ho so far has led every single lap in this race. Has got pole position and the fastest lap so far. If he doesn't lose the fastest lap and if he can maintain the lead till the end of this lap, that will be everything done for race 2 as well. He already has pole position for race 3, so he will be hoping to kind of nail it and get a perfect record through the entire race weekend. Which, considering the amount of sessions, is actually quite a feat. Now, we will get 1 lap. I'm pretty certain we'll only get 1 lap, because Christian Ho is slowing the field right all the way down. Safety car has gone out of position. Ho almost in first gear, probably in second gear, just tootling along. He's got Enzo Deligny just there. Valerio Rinicella, Stromstead with the front wing and nose of his car out to the inside of Rinicella, reminding his Italian rival that he is there. Pedro Claro is still 5th with the Peo in 6th position. And now Christian Ho goes probably a more advantageous position to put the throttle down. Already made a significant gap to Deligny, who has got Rinicella just behind him, but Stromstead also a very good restart, but is it close enough to apply pressure to the podium sitter? Deligny, Rinicella, Stromstead all weaving, trying to break the toe from behind. We have, actually, this is going to be the penultimate lap. Ho has crossed the line with just 8 seconds to spare. And we have Pedro Claro trying to go around the outside of Stromstead and makes a stick. Fantastic move. Is the Peo going to go through to retake his teammate too? Not through 3 he isn't, but he may get a run from 3 into 4. The Peo, of course, is going to be watching from behind, and you see Stromstead trying to make a move to try and retake Claro. That's not going to work. A very, very, very cheeky move by Pedro Claro. Well done. Very, very, very clever indeed. And Stromstead, no. All locked up and nowhere to go, and just missed going right into the side of Claro. That has given Stromstead an opportunity to take his teammate and rival. And we see the restart again from Christian Ho. And as much as it was a good restart by Christian Ho, it wasn't a great restart by Deligny. And it's interesting. Not entirely sure what Stromstead was doing going into turn 1. Almost as if he was still trying to apply distractive pressure to Rinicella, but missed out the fact that Claro was right there behind. We have Matteo De Peo still pressing Stromstead as they come into the final lap of this race. Ho leads with 1 second of an advantage over Enzo Deligny. Some drivers in the background vying over position now outside the points. There's Yamakoshi being taken by Carrasquado for 7th and 8th positions. Cardenas is still in 9th. Carrasquado has made that move stick. And here's Christian Ho leading this race, made it look easy. All weekend he's been absolutely imperious. Ahead of Deligny, got Rinicella in 3rd place, Pedro Claro, who started 11th by the way, now running 4th. Brilliant job by him. Stromstead DePeo 5th and 6th, Carrasquaro 7th, Yamakoshi's gained 4 positions to 8th. Brilliant race for Cardenas. Started 21st, now 9th. TFL Nail, by the way, who started 30th, is only up to 18th position. You see that's Christian Ho now getting closer and closer to the end of this race, the end of race 2, and more points. As he does round out the final couple of corners, it's another win. It'll be win number 4 for Christian Ho. Ahead of Enzo Dellini, Valerio Nocella. Pedro Claro comes home 4th ahead of Stromstad, who held out against teammate DePeo. Carrasquara 7th place. Hiyu Yamakoshi comes home 8th, and Adrian Cardenas sums out the last point in 9th. Ho with the bonus point for fastest lap as well. Flavio Oliveri closes out the top 10. Solid effort by Oliveri, actually, having started 15th, didn't finish yesterday. Pablo Sarrazam came home 11th ahead of Daniel Mazzia. Alvis Rodeo finished 13th. 14th was Keanu Alazzari. Brilliant job, actually. He started 33rd. That's a gain of 19 positions for Alazzari. Alexander Absakava came home 15th ahead of Theo Jensen. TFL Neal was 17th in the head-to-head of teammate Luciano Morano. Federico Alrafai finished 19th ahead of Aske Bora. Griffin Peebles was 21st ahead of Juan Cota. Isaac Brashi finished 23rd ahead of Filippo Florentino. Lorenzo Castillo was 25th. Gabriel Gomez came home 26th ahead of 27th Eric Chenet, who stalled at the start. Carlos Perez was 28th. And of course, we then get into the non-finishers. Well, actually, no, I do tell a lie. Max Restrepo did finish. He was a lap down, but he did finish. The non-finishers are Noah Lyle, Ricardo Grazia, Alex Ninovich, Lynn Herdinez, and Fernando Barrichello. And with that, we have one race remaining in the Spanish Formula 4 Championship of 2023. The drivers now return to Parc Ferme. We should hopefully get a podium. We see Enzo Dellini pull into his lot in Parc Ferme, right up to the second place board, the winning rookie for this race. And I suppose he'll probably be relatively happy with that. Congratulations there, Dellini, with members of the team. And the Red Bull Junior team is there as well. Christian Ho pulling into his winner's slot. It does mean Christian Ho, second in the standings, is on 259 points. He's built up a little bit of a gap over Runacella and Dellini with only 26 points left on the table. And I can't see a scenario where Christian Ho gets a penalty, so he'll have another 2 points for pole position. So that will put him on 261 to 241 by Runacella and 240 for Dellini. And with only 26 points available for the final race, that's pretty much as close as he can get to rounding out second in the championship. Claret's fourth position puts him on 151. keeps him 6th in the standings. As we see highlights from this race. And it was a contrast between Grazia and Ninovic, and that they collected Lynn Herdinez. There's lots of drivers who made attempts to overtake but didn't quite make it work. Matteo De Peo did give it a really good go against Pedro Claro. Almost looked as if they almost banged wheels. And they battled hard for much of the race. And that was Noah Lyle going off, and I'm pretty certain he had a problem with the left rear before that incident. It does look slightly deranged. It did allow, and this is novel, this is a Max Restrepo spinning. He tries to spin turn himself back into contention, but unfortunately didn't give it enough steering lock or wally and just pitched himself into the gravel. But we have an interview with the race winner, Christian Ho.
Congratulations, one more. Absolute dominator of the race. Extraordinary restarts of the safety cars and fast lap. What a race for you and what a weekend for you.
Yeah, I mean, I think this was the potential that we had all year, but we didn't really maximize it. But yeah, finally it's come to a race where I've done everything almost perfectly. And yeah, safety car restarts were nice. Tire management was good as well. And yeah, it was a really good race, perfect race from my side. So yeah, I want to thank the team, my parents, and all the people supporting me back home in Singapore. And also a special message to my uncle. Happy birthday. And I hope you have a good day. Thank you.
What do you expect for the last race of the championship?
I expect it to be, of course, a bit harder. Maybe everybody will be, there's no risk from everybody basically. I don't think everybody has anything to fight for anymore. So yeah, I think it'll be a really fun race. I start from pole again, so I'll just try to do my own race and try to win again. So yeah, thank you.
Enjoy it.
Yeah, thank you.
So, happy birthday to Christian Ho's uncle. As we see the results on screen, Christian Ho ahead of Anzolini Rinicella. That is the podium. Leclerc, Stromstedt, De Peo, Yamakoshi, Cardenas, Carrasquada rounds out the points, but Oliveri takes 10th position. And then outside the top 10, you've got Sarazan, Rodea, Alazzari. Brilliant job by him. Jansen, Morano, Matsia, Bora, Peebles, Abkazava, and Theophil Nail is 20th. This is, of course, now, I'm guessing, with penalties applied. There are several penalties handed out right at the end for 2 seconds for track limits. RFI 21st and Baracci, Fiorentino, Cota, Gomez, Genet, Perez, Castillo, and Restrepo, who I think got to the end, but won't be included. He's got an assisted restart. Lyle, too, went into the barriers, then Grazia, Ninovic, Herdinez, and Barrichello were not classified. They retired much earlier on in the event. So, point standings after 20 of 21 races. Theophil Neal, champion, we know that. 296, didn't score any points today. So you see more replays of the race. Christian Ho with the win and the bonus point for fast lap and pole position for race 3. Assuming he's not going to get a penalty, we'll put him on 262. He is 21 points ahead of Rinicella in 3rd place, who was on 241. He's 22 points ahead of Tellini in 4th place, who was on 240. There is 26 points left in this championship. Ho merely needs to finish 8th to solidify 2nd in the standings. Matteo De Peo is 5th with 159. Pedro Claro is 6th with 151. 7th is Stromstedt with 131. Cardenas is 8th with 106. Alazzari is 9th with 92. And Ninovic is 10th with 52 points. And so we wait now for the podium. As the season Really very much winding to a close now. A real sense of calm in the air. See Rinachella on the right, Delaney on the left, and in the middle, the race winner, Christian Ho. In a few moments' time, we'll get the Singapore national anthem for the race winner. And that is the Singapore national anthem for the race winner, Christian Ho. There will be some celebrations, I'm sure, at the end of this weekend for the young man who's been absolutely brilliant so far this weekend. We see the bronze trophy for third place handed to Rinachella, pondering his future, I'm sure. As Delaney, the Red Bull junior driver, gets his silver trophy for second place. And the gold winner's trophy for race winner Christian Ho. There'll of course be a similar gold trophy for the Campos Racing representative, who's just slightly out of screen there, rather unfortunate. And you can see the shadow of him holding the trophy aloft. How nice. That's actually quite artistic. And the quartet gather for some pictures. Well, we will have more pictures for you later on, albeit moving ones. That's my tribute to 1920 cinema there. We will be back later on today at 1:45 on the continent and 12:45 p.m. in the UK for the final race of the 2023 Spanish Formula 4 Championship. Thank you very much for joining me this morning. Go out, have some breakfast, have some tea, maybe have a little bit of lunch, and come back and we'll see you later. My name is Leo Gorman, and until then, goodbye.